Protesters held a rally outside Silver Dollar Fairgrounds on the 28th, where the last American Red Cross shelter in Chico for campfire evacuees was set to close their doors to people who have a place to live outside the shelter. The American Red Cross claims that they are not forcing anyone to leave without somewhere to go. The California Homeless Union was protesting the closure of the shelter, claiming that civil rights were being violated by discriminating against certain homeless groups and forcing them onto the streets without a place to live. They claim that Butte County needs to step up and keep the shelter running after the American Red Cross leaves.
Butte County needs to keep this place open until each and every person who was in here because of the fire or some other reason is in here, because there's been discrimination between the homeless who lost their homes in paradise versus the homeless who've been here for a long time. We feel that everyone is entitled to support and the services no matter how they became homeless. But the fact of the matter is that they have been kicking people out of this shelter for all kinds of different, what we feel are not legitimate reasons.
We caught up with two Red Cross employees near the protest to hear what they had to say.
The lease is between the county and the state, and we, respect their wishes, and we tell them what we think, how long we think we're going to have to be here. But no, it definitely is a conversation. But in the end, we abide by what they request.
We will remain here as long as the county needs us. We're providing services to the county. So if the county say we have gotten solutions for everybody, they will say we no longer need you.
People living inside the shelter came out to watch the protest. Cindy is a dog trainer who lost her home to the campfire. She's been staying at the shelter for a while now. So how's your experience been inside the shelter so far?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Difficult.
Very difficult. Very difficult. Down to the last nitty-gritty. And I hate to say it, it seems to have become a police state. It seems to have become almost like a confinement. The food has been in and out and really very scarce. Now we're, being really rushed to get out. A lot of people have searched. A lot of people have looked. There's a lot of good people here that have volunteered and helped. But there's a lot of those that have been hired on and brought in and volunteered that they're here to pat themselves on the back and see what they can walk away with.
On January 31st, when many had to leave the fairgrounds, Josh got to tour what was left of the Red Cross shelter.
Steve, if you want to give us the breakdown of kind of what's been going on here and what the plans are for the future?
Right, so overall at the shelter as of last night, we had about 50 people staying inside the shelter and about 140 that were outside in campers and trailers. And ever since day one, we've had caseworkers meeting with folks trying to assess what their needs are, whatever roadblocks they may be facing to get either back to their normal life or move on to a different phase of their lives.
Stephen Walsh, the Red Cross spokesperson from the protest, walked Josh through the shelter and to the last dormitory that's open, along with two other trailer lots for people still struggling to find somewhere to live.
And there's been a couple kind of protests, like pretty small outside of the Red Cross shelter or across from the fairgrounds. Right. Can you tell us a little bit about that and then compared to like what people inside are kind of thinking?
Hard to say compared to what people inside are thinking, but we definitely recognize that there are people that are advocating for those that are disadvantaged, and they're very passionate about it. Our job as the Red Cross is to take care of people that were directly affected by the fire, and of course initially anybody that comes to the shelter. What we are trying to convey to the public is that we are not equipped to be a long-term shelter for the homeless. However, if there are, as I said earlier, extenuating circumstances where people have a plan but they can't reach those goals today or tomorrow, they're not getting pushed out. We'll stay with them until we know they have a safe place to go.